Here are my 5 favorite tools under $40 for anybody who's running a sawmill. Number 1, that crescent sliding nail puller. You put this thing down in the wood when you hit a nail or some piece of metal, some foreign object. You put it down in the wood. You just use this. You get it in there, and then you just pry it out. Man, it's so easy. It's about the only way to get a nail out of wood. These things are like $38 or something. I think it's the most expensive thing here. It's a must-have. It costs about the same as a sawmill blade, so just get you one and keep it around. Number 2 is obviously a grease gun, but a locking grease zerk coupler. When I discovered this thing, man, game changer. So all the grease zerks, especially all over a hydraulic mill, they are always got some dust on them. There's got to be 1,000 of them. All your machines need them. You try and put your regular grease fitting on there. Some of them don't really, they don't really like to stay on there. This locking coupler, so this one's at Harbor Freight, it's about $30. I know there's some other brands out there that are about the same price. I'm sure they're just as good. You just squeeze it, you put it right on the zerk fitting, and you let it go. Simple as that. No more trying to push that thing, hold it in there, and having mess all around the zerk fitting. Man, this is a must-have for every grease gun. Number 3, this is a pair, okay? Get you a small framing square. This one's made by Johnson. It's bright orange and it's painted. Bright orange is great because you can see it laying around. Painted is great because if you accidentally leave a steel tool sitting on oak, it'll stain it. Well, this one, since it's painted, it doesn't, all right? It's super easy to check square on cans as you're cutting them every so often, especially if you're trying to make nice beams. Just throw it on there every so often, make sure you're getting it square. It only takes about 12 seconds, but it makes a world of difference in your finished product. You can use it to scrape sawdust. When I'm back there running the edger, I keep one of these on hand. It's really easy to throw it down. This side's 8, this side's 12. If you're over 12, just put it down and then flip it. There are one of my safety glasses. And then keep you a big one around. When you're cutting 12 by 12s, things like that, it's super easy. You can use it to scrape sawdust, especially if you got boards on the ground. You don't need to lean over. All right, so get you a pair of framing squares. I highly recommend. They're either aluminum or they're painted, and get them a bright color. What are we on? Number 4. This is by Cook's. It's a blade alignment tool. It came with the sawmill. Before, I just used a welding rod taped on the blade. It was straight, it worked. I'm imagining there's got to be a couple other people that make them. Man, they don't cost very much. They're super simple. I check my alignment once a week. And man, when your sawmill is aligned, you can cut like 4 times faster. You can cut way better. There's no other way to do it. You got to make sure that thing's aligned, and you got to check it routinely. So get you one of these. It just accentuates, you put it on your blade, right? It just accentuates any errors that might be in the alignment. So it makes it really easy to check. All right, we're on number 5. A brush, but not just any brush. I've used plenty of brushes, roofing brushes. You want something with a flat edge on the back. This is a driveway applicator, okay? It's got really rough bristles up here, and it's got a rubber squeegee on the back. The rough bristles are great, especially on a coarse wood like hemlock, getting that sawdust brushed around. I usually leaf blow the whole pallet afterwards, but man, this wider head, okay, and then this flat back. I use this flat back to apply tung oil too if I'm putting it on boards or beams, but it also works great for scraping sawdust. Get something with a rough bristle, not a soft bristle, and it'll really help break up that sawdust, especially if it's really wet. I guess we'll call this one. Get you a bunch of lumber crayons and keep them everywhere. I'm talking about like get dozens of them. Keep them in the cup holders of your machine. keep them laying on your control panel for the mill, keep them on the table, keep them in a cup in the cabinet. They're super helpful, man. They're so good. You know, they're usually about 90 cents a piece. Get you a bunch. Sometimes, if I know that I'm about to cut a tricky log that has something on the end that I can't see, I'll come around and I'll mark it on the butt end of whatever one I'm looking at, so that I know this is where I want my first cut to be, this is where I want my second cut to be. You just can't have enough of them. So anyways, those are my picks for tools under $40 that every sawmill needs to have. Man, if you get some of these things, sometimes you spend money that you don't need to, but every one of these tools, I use it daily, usually hourly. Some of them, like this, I leave this in my pocket every single second that I'm down here, and I use it religiously. I don't use a tape measure down here, I always use this. Anyways, check some of these things out. Thanks for watching.